welcome to the Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. It is the Valley Business Today, and we are in the studio with Niki Cales. She is the president of the Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce, and we're just rambling and gossiping and everything else, and then Chris Cooper stopped talking. I'm like, oh, yeah, we should probably do a show today because, that's kind of why we're both here at the same time. So welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, I think you brought cooler weather, so you're my new favorite person this week.
Right? I tell you what, if I don't know how many more days I can take of the oppressive heat.
It's supposed to be fall. Labor Day is over, therefore it should be fall weather.
Right. Well, yeah, I agree, but I think every year we go through this. For whatever reason, we all think that September 1st is that magic line, and we get some of the hottest weather. It's like summer is reminding us that
I'm still here.
Yeah. I have till the 22nd is what it's telling us.
Well, and ideally, though, for you, because Brew Blues is at the end of this month, so you kind of want summer to, kind of hang around for a little bit and then ease its way out so that it's fall by the time.
Right. What I would love to have happen is I would love to have those leaves start changing and be peak as the weekend
that's not going to happen.
I know. Well, I was holding out a little bit of hope because we've been so wet this year, and it's been several years since we've had as much rain. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with the leaves as far as color and all of that sort of stuff, being that it's been so wet. So I think it's going to be a pretty fantastic year for color.
Yes.
And all of our leaf peepers who start coming, towards the end of September through October. Hopefully they're going to have a great show and they're going to spend lots of money while they're here.
Yes. So Felicia and I have had that conversation on a Tourism Tuesday. That as annoying as traffic and everything else gets, they are here spending a lot of money and then they're leaving. And they do leave. They do go away.
Yes, they do.
So you just need patience for a short couple of months and then you get to reap the benefits of not having tax increases.
Well, yeah. And, a lot of our local businesses who benefit, from having those folks in the community, even though it's a brief period of time, some of those folks really rely on that. We saw that, when the park was shut down, several years ago, a lot of businesses really, really suffered. So, we're looking forward to a really good season and lots of people visiting and those long lines of traffic that none of us like when they're happening, but they pay great dividends. So.
Yes. So, all right. So what is going on? You've got a big, long list of, because
man, I tell you what,
it kicks into overdrive. That's the other part about September.
Yeah.
Even if it's not hot outside, it's hot at the chamber office because you guys are constantly running around this event, that event, this thing going on, that thing going on.
Well, yeah, it's ready or not, here it comes. And that's great. We love that. And we love that there are so many people doing so many things. So there's a big party, if you haven't heard, happening on Saturday downtown. Front Royal Brewing Company is doing their grand opening. And we're going to kick off with a ribbon cutting at 11 a.m. And then they have stuff all day long. They have 3 bands coming in.
Wow.
They're going to have new beer releases. They're going to be doing lots of prizes and really fun things with the food. I just can't say enough nice things about what they're doing down there. And it's just going to be a party all day long. So I'd encourage folks to, even if you can't get there for the ribbon cutting at 11, we'd love to see you if you can. But come downtown and enjoy the live entertainment. It's going to be like a mini festival right there in the back of back on the Peyton Street parking lot. I think that if you don't come, you're going to be missing out.
It's a good excuse to just come down and try it out because something's going on. So
exactly, check it out. They do legitimately have something for everybody there. They don't just serve beer. They have wine. They have ciders. They have
food.
They have delicious food. All sorts of great. It's such a great addition to Main Street. And if you haven't been down recently, not just for Front Royal Brewing, but come and check out all of the awesome things that are happening downtown because there's really a lot of good stuff going on.
Well, I'm working on a podcast series for the station. It's going to go up on our website. Well, on our website, it's going to go in the iTunes app and Google Play Music, and it's going to be on all of the craft breweries up and down the Shenandoah Valley.
That's awesome.
So I reached out to Tim to see if they wanted to have an episode in this series. So he said he had to get with his management team. So Tim, hey, haven't heard back from you.
I'll remind him the next time I talk to him because he's an asset for me. Yeah.
Yes,
so,
absolutely. So I tell you what, we are shortened in our first
Yeah.
segment today because, that Dylan.
I'm telling you,
Taking
Dylan.
taking the news away, taking all the news time into our show. So let's take a quick break. But I know you've got Brown Bag Luncheons. I'm reading upside down here. You've got Brewing Blues.
Yeah.
Candidates Forum is going to be here again before we know it. So we'll talk about all of that when we come back.
Yeah.
Niki Cales is in the studio with me today. She is the president at Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce. It is the Valley Business Today. I am Janet Michael. Hang in there. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Expecting to hear a commercial? Well, that's kind of what this is. First, I want to thank you for listening to the Valley Today podcast. You're one of many who listen to the show this way. Sometimes it's because our listeners didn't know that if they're away from the radio, they can still listen on our website, via the TuneIn app on their phone, or even on Alexa. We're also available in the Apple Podcast app and the Google Play Music app. Sometimes our listeners are just busy and they want to listen when it fits their schedule. Or maybe it's a guest of the show who want to hear what they sounded like when they were on the radio. We even have a few binge listeners who listen to a week's worth at a time. So if you want those people, your potential customers, to hear your message, your ad could have been here. And the bonus, your commercial isn't restricted to just 30 or 60 seconds. You can take up to 2 minutes to talk to those customers. There's even the opportunity to be the exclusive sponsor of the Valley Today podcast, which gets you on-air mentions at the end of every show. If all of this sounds interesting to you, give me a call at the station, 540-635-4121, or send me an email to janet@theriver953.com. You can also find all of my contact info by searching Janet Michael on our website at theriver953.com. So do one of those things. Get in touch and let me tell you how we can talk to those customers in this podcast every single day. And now, back to the show. Welcome back to the Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael, and this segment is brought to you by Valley Health, offering the latest minimally invasive surgery advancements. You can learn more at valleyhealthlink.com/MIS. It is the Valley Business Today, so we are in the studio with Niki Cales. She is the president of the Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce, and we were talking about the big event that's happening this weekend at Front Royal Brewing Company.
Yes, please come down. You will not be disappointed. And that leads right into my favorite event of the year. I know I'm not supposed to say that. I keep telling myself
supposed to be like your children.
That. Yeah, and they are like my children, but we all have a favorite child. It's just that simple. And so the Brew Blues Festival is coming up on September 22nd, and I absolutely love the.
Is
Brew
it the
Blues
22nd?
Festival.
I thought it was the 28th.
No, September 22nd.
Downtown.
We're going to have about 60 beers this year.
Wow.
Virginia Eagle, of course, is participating with us again this year, and we're super thankful for all the help we get from them. The vast majority of beers that we're going to have down there are Virginia beers, which is always fantastic. We'll have some of those mainstays that people really, really want to have
their Bud and Bud Light.
I don't know if you call those normal beers or whatever you call the domestics that people really love, but there will be very few of those. And everything else will be Virginia brews. A lot of things that we haven't had before. We'll have, some newer breweries. What we're working on this year is we've created something called a local loop. So that local loop is sponsored by Bushel Pub, which is within the Apple House. Mm-hmm. And in that local loop, we'll have all of our local and regional folks. So, Backroom Brewery, Front Royal Brewery.
Perfect.
We'll have a number of the folks from Winchester Cider Works. It's so funny. I got an email from somebody just yesterday who said, hey, I want to make sure that you're going to have more ciders because most women like to drink ciders and not beer, which made me laugh a little bit
because you're one of the chicks that love beer.
I am. I'm a chick that loves beer, but it's true. No matter every year we try to add another couple of ciders or whatever, and every year. That's the thing that sells out first. Are the ciders. People love the ciders. So I'm telling all of my cider people out there, yes, we are going to have more ciders this year. I'm hoping we have enough. But you guys drink a lot of cider. So, we're going to have, of course, Bold Rock, Winchester Cider Works, a bunch of different offerings. And it's just going to be a great time. And so I encourage folks, to consider coming down. If you're not a beer drinker, you're not a cider drinker, come down anyway, because, there's tons of awesome crafters. Yep. There's going to be live music all day.
Food,
cornhole. Lots of people love to play cornhole. So there's lots of things for you to do, even if you're not a beer drinker. So
or you're the designated driver.
Well, yes. And, Jennifer Smith with Allstate sponsors a Sober Ride Home booth. So she'll be there, with incentives for folks, of course, who aren't drinking. And then, for folks who do need a ride home, we're going to figure that out too. So we've got lots of things going on there. And I think the most important thing for people who are beer drinkers to know right now is that we only sell 100 VIP tickets.
Uh-oh. And they're probably going pretty quick.
Well, they are going really quick. And, normally when, little trade secret, normally when we say, hey, things are selling fast, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're selling fast.
It means you need them to sell faster.
Exactly. But that's not true in this case. We sell 100 of those tickets, and we're about a little over halfway through that with a few weeks to go, yeah.
And that's a big deal, because you get a lot more with a VIP ticket than you do just a regular ticket.
You do. Well, it's unlimited tastings, first of all. So, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But then you also get a T-shirt, and you get lots of swag, and there's a lot of stuff that comes with the VIP ticket.
Well, so you get to tell people you're a VIP.
You do. Exactly.
I'm sorry, I don't have one of those tickets.
Yeah, I'm a VIP. Yeah. And you don't have to, buy any additional drink tickets. I mean, you start off, if you do a regular admission, you do start off with enough tickets that's getting you 2 full beers and a tasting, or 5 tastings, whichever you choose. So you get a good amount of beer to start off with, even if it's an admission ticket. But most people, if you're like me and you're going to a beer festival, you want to taste everything that's there.
Yeah, because you don't know what you haven't tried yet.
Exactly. Yeah. So the VIP tickets are a great deal. But, when I say they sell out, they absolutely sell out. We sell 100, and that's all we sell. So if you're coming and you want to be a VIP, my suggestion to you is one of 3 things. Either you go to brewingblues.com and order your VIP ticket today, or you visit the chamber office at 201 East 2nd Street, or the visitor center at 414 East Main Street, and pick up your ticket.
So that's it. And then when they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah. And we do not sell them at the gate, because they right. sell out. So they are not available at the gate. But we do have admission tickets, which are available. And if you buy those now, between now and the 21st of September, they're $20. Once we pass that date, they're $25 at the gate. So you do save a little bit of money by ordering that ticket now. So I do encourage folks to go ahead and do that. And again, get the VIP ticket.
Oh, yeah. Brewandblues.com.
Yes, brewandblues.com. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So I tell you what, let's take one more quick break. When we come back, let's talk about some of the other things that you've got going on. And I can ask you how I can get me one of the VIP tickets without having to pay for it.
Okay.
So we're going to do that during the break. We are in the studio with Niki Cales. She is the president of the Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce. It is the Valley Business Today. I am Janet Michael. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
There's always more to the story. At the River 95.3, that's what our new podcast, Another Look, offers. A deeper look into the news stories you hear about every week. I'm Dylan Nichols, news director at the River 95.3. Join Janet Michael from the Valley Today and I as we review news from our area, as well as some odd news stories from around the country. You can find Another Look on the river953.com and listen to our take on the news whenever, wherever. Another Look offering you a weekend review with a twist. You can find a new one every Friday in the Apple Podcast app, in the Google Play Music app, or online at theriver953.com.
Welcome back to the Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael, and this segment is brought to you by Valley Health Urgent Care. Can't wait to see a doctor? Now you don't have to with 4 convenient urgent care locations. You can even check in online at vhurgentcare.com. So we've got a couple of minutes left in the studio. Niki Cales is here from the Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce, and we've been talking about Brew Blues VIP tickets at brewandblues.com.
Yes, please. Again, get your tickets while they're still available. You haven't said anything about Pam yet, but encourage.
Oh, yeah. Call Pam and tell Pam you need to know how to get a VIP ticket. Call Pam at the chamber office, 635-3115.
3185.
3185. I always get it backwards. And tell Pam that Janet wants to know how to get a free VIP ticket.
Please do that.
Please do that. My phone's going to blow up here in a minute. I know, because she gets so. I think she expects it, but then still gets annoyed and is surprised when it happens, because then people call her and drive her up a wall.
Yeah, exactly. So we have, of course, a Brown Bag Luncheon coming up in September. And Jerry Rivers, who is a fantastic speaker, will be speaking on hiring and firing and everything you need to know about, employee relations, that sort of stuff. That's on September 19th from 11:30 to 1, and that's at the Chamber office. It is a true Brown Bag Luncheon, so I encourage you to bring your lunch and listen to a fantastic speaker. And Jerry will answer your questions, and, she's very engaging, and the topic is terrific. So for anybody out there who has questions about,
you want to know how to let somebody go without it coming back to bite you in the end, that's the thing you got to go to.
Exactly. Yeah. Always cover your bases with that sort of stuff. So, and then, future, of course, you mentioned the candidates forum. We do have one coming up in October, on October 11th. We're finalizing all of our details for that now. But if I could say one thing about that, it would simply be educate yourself. So whether it's through our candidates forum or whether it's, just doing some research yourself, make sure you educate yourself on the folks who are running for public office. And make sure you vote. That's one of my big, that's my I'm getting my soapbox out, but it is vitally important. I don't care who you vote for. Just vote.
Yes. Well, and the reason we were late coming on and that our show was a little bit shorter today is Dylan had Jennifer Lewis in over the weekend and interviewed her. She's running for Congressman Goodlatte seat that he is retiring from. The other thing, too, is that's one way to get your information, to know that it's coming from a reliable source.
Exactly.
Because sadly, in this day and age, you can't just assume that something you read on Facebook or something you saw even on the internet is an actual true news story. So you've got to make sure that where you're getting your information is a real news story from a credible source.
Well, and the truth of the matter with that is more than 50% of the time what you're reading on Facebook is not true.
Right.
And that's the really sad thing, is that, we hit that share button a whole bunch on things that just simply aren't accurate. And so taking a minute or two to find out what's real and what's not, and taking a minute or two to research your candidates and just make sure you're voting for somebody who believes in what you believe in.
Well, and if they come knocking on your door, because they're going to be doing that over the next couple of months, ask them some questions.
Absolutely.
Don't go hide in some other part of the house or open the door and tell them you're not interested. Be engaged and ask them some questions. You can do that at the candidates forum. I know Winchester Chamber was here a couple of weeks ago. They've got Hobnob in the Valley. That's another opportunity to be able to go and ask these questions directly to these candidates, so you're making an educated decision regardless of which side of the fence you're on.
And that's it. That's exactly what it's about. Just making sure that you're doing your service to the vote. It only takes you a few minutes, and I've hardly ever had to stand in a line at one of our polling places here in Warren County.
And that's sad. I would love it. And same for me in Middletown. I walk in, I vote, I'm out in less than 2.5 minutes, and I would love to be able to go there one day and have to wait in line.
I know, right?
Because everybody is there and excited to be voting and having their voice heard.
Exactly. So watch for information on the candidates forum. We'll record it and put it on the public access channel. We'll do it Facebook Live, all that good stuff. But just and
you'll be back before October 11th.
Absolutely.
So we'll have another show where we can talk about that a little bit more too.
Yes.
Awesome. So anything else? Because I know Small Business Saturday is around the corner.
Yeah, it is. November 24th for Small Business Saturday. We'll be gearing up for that. We'll talk more about that. The Christmas parade, December 1st this year. Believe it or not, we just got our first application in the mail for that. And we're adding a little festival component to that this year. So we can talk more about that.
Awesome.
So there's lots going on.
Awesome. Well, we are going to wrap up today's episode of The Valley Business Today. We have been chatting with Niki Cales. She is the president of the Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce. All of this stuff's on your website. Where can they go to get more information?
FrontRoyalChamber.com.
Or Brew and Blue. Yeah.
BrewandBlues.com.
I set that website up. You'd think I would remember what it actually is. But it's been a long hump day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
It is Wednesday, right?
Well, somebody said to me earlier that it has been 3 days of Mondays this week.
It's exactly what it is. So tomorrow is Thursday. I will be back in the studio. I'll meet you back here for a brand new episode of The Valley Today.